Welcome back to the Lafayette Food Junkie show on News Talk 96.5 KPEL. I'm your host, Tiffiany Decou. Here we talk about all the food happenings around Acadiana. If you like food, tune in. You might learn something new. I blanked on the opening credits to the show just now. That's how tired I am.
Yeah, well, we had a big day.
We did. We just got back probably about... We made it back about 2 o'clock today.
Yeah.
We visited my parents in Minden. We made a little detour to Shreveport when we left on Friday.
Mm-hmm.
But it's been a busy day. There's a lot of pollen.
Yes.
My car is yellow right now.
Right.
Your car is also yellow. I think everyone's car in Acadiana is yellow right now. It's insane, the amount of pollen
very much
that is in the air.
Well, it's the one weekend of spring.
Right. The one weekend. Yeah. Because, I mean, it's probably going to start raining like every day.
Yeah.
Soon. Like the flood. It's flood season. Flood season will be happening here in Acadiana.
You want good weather? The trees do too.
So Bob met my parents this weekend.
Yeah.
That was the big trip. They are home from Pennsylvania.
Shout out to the future in-laws.
Yeah, they wanted to make sure they got a shout out tonight. But so we left Friday. They had been begging for a king cake all king cake season. They wanted me to ship them a king cake. I did not want to pay to ship them a king cake.
Right.
But fortunately, Cajun Market Donut Company, you can order them year round. They're just not available. Like, you just can't roll in there and get a king cake when it's not king cake season. You have to give them, I think they said 24 hours notice. That's cool. I bought them a small one. So we brought that up there. And on the way up, we stopped in Shreveport because we both wanted to eat at Key Mexico, which is one of my... It is in my top 5 favorite restaurants in the Shreveport Bossier area. Yeah. And
fair.
I got this is how insanely, like, just, it's so good. It was, they call their tortas tortagusas, which means turtle. And I get it because the bread is shaped like a turtle shell.
Okay.
But so they don't call them tortas there. And I haven't quite figured that out because I was doing some research on that, because that's the only place that I've ever seen tortas called tortagusas. And you know, and I get it, I get it from the name, but I was like trying to figure out if there was other regions of Mexico that call their sandwiches that. But
I know Cajun, a turtle is tortu.
Really?
Yeah.
That's interesting. There's another name for a snapping turtle, but we're not going to talk about that on air. No. That's probably censored. But anyway, going back to the sandwich, I had the sandwich when I did a tour of Shreveport a few years ago, and it's made me, that's when I fell in love with this restaurant. It has avocado, it has cheese, onions, it has pickled jalapenos on it, and then it has like this mayo, and I always add a fried egg, and it's from Mahaffey Farms, which is because they try to be, a lot of the restaurants in Shreveport are very farm to table, and they don't really necessarily advertise that they're farm to table. It's just so readily available there that a lot of the restaurants kind of pull from that, but they do try to use, as much locally sourced products as they can. And so they use like Mahaffey Farm eggs. That fried egg that they put on that is the best fried egg I've ever had. And I don't know what they're doing differently.
You've been raving about this egg.
No, because the Saturday I wanted to go up because the farm isn't that far from my grandmother's.
Yeah.
And they do like a little farm market on Saturday mornings. And I wanted to go get the eggs because I'm convinced that it's the eggs at this farm that are that delicious, because I've never, like, I love fried eggs. You know how much I eat fried eggs.
Yeah. And
just something about that one is so delicious. It could be the oil that they're cooking the egg in.
Could be.
I don't know. It was delicious. You got a hamburger.
Yeah, I did. It was so good.
So it was a beef pork blend.
Yeah.
And then it also had
macro greens.
It had they're big on the microgreens there.
The best sauteed onions.
Yes, it was a jam. It was an onion jam.
Oh, that's what
they did on it. And then it was like a jalapeno mayo. Yeah. And then they served it with macaroni and cheese, which was really unexpected, but totally worked because it tasted like, I'm not going to say that it was like salsa macaroni and cheese, but you could definitely tell that there was that Latin influence to the macaroni and cheese.
Yeah, it had almost like a little bit more of like a tomatoey flavor.
Yeah. So not my favorite. Like, that's not what I would have picked, but I appreciated it because, that's their fusion food. And I basically told you to order me anything with mezcal because they have so many mezcal drinks on the menu.
Yep.
And you got me one. It was delicious. And then you got another, we're going to butcher it. It's Michelada, which is basically a Bloody Mary, but instead of vodka, it's beer.
Yeah.
And
we used Pacifica beer. But yeah, it was so good.
It was delicious. They were packed. I'm not used to being there because we usually always go on off times.
Yeah.
So because I like interview the chefs and they were packed in there. And then it was also a restaurant week in Shreveport. So a lot of the restaurants had different specials. Like Parish Taco. Yeah, Parish Taco this week had a country fried steak taco.
Yes.
That looked insane.
With hot water cornbread.
Yes, I wanted that so bad. I was like, why aren't we there Wednesday? So after that, we checked out this place called Buttercup Cupcakes, which is a chain. I believe it's a national chain, and it's kind of like they're all kind of ripoffs of Sprinkles cupcakes. And I mean, we have one here, small cakes, and I really like small cakes, but they're not Sprinkles. Like once you've had Sprinkles, like everything else kind of pales in comparison.
Okay.
But so we got some cupcakes from there, and
you mentioned something really interesting about cupcake shops too.
What?
Is that they always just smell?
Yeah, they
bad.
smell like cardboard.
Yeah.
And I don't know what that is, and I don't know if it's because they have so many cardboard boxes in the back. But it doesn't smell like fresh baked cupcakes or anything like that. It smells like cardboard.
Exactly.
And that's what I had mentioned when we were leaving this one. But they were good, but they weren't like fantastic.
Yeah.
So I don't think I'll probably go back to check them out. But I had been drooling over them because they're beautiful on social media. And it's kind of, they're all kinds of Sprinkles ripoff, and God, Sprinkles is so good. I wish I was trying to tell my grandmother about it. I wish that we had some. I don't think there is a Sprinkles cupcakes in Louisiana.
Not that
I don't think so. If they would, it would be in New Orleans, but we don't have anything really close. But we brought them king cake, and they loved it. Bob survived this weekend.
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
On my wits.
Yeah. We had we did like a weenie roast Friday night. It was really simple, but I enjoy it. Anytime I go up there, I always want to have a bonfire.
Yeah.
I just really like being outside there.
Weenie roast, bonfire, and I had I believe the clinical term is pie-eyed.
Yes, you did get pie-eyed. I think you were a little nervous.
Yeah.
But I think everyone did that night. Oh, and that was the other thing that I told you before going up there. So Minden is a dry county.
Right.
And you have to go to the city next to it.
Was it the Buzz By that we went to?
I don't know. But we stopped in Dixie Inn, which off of I-20 is the closest to Minden, where you can get all your alcohol, and there's like a ton of liquor stores right there. Like they all know, and then usually there's like a cop waiting on the city line to like bust you for the littlest thing ever. But you have to drive there. It's about like 15 minutes away. So we stopped there, and you were like, I have to get beer. Even though I brought 2 bottles of wine for the weekend, but you were like, no, I have to have it.
I'm going into a dry county. I need a 6 or a PBR.
And technically they're not dry anymore because you still can't purchase for home consumption there, but you can, if you go into a restaurant, you can drink in a restaurant. So they have a couple of Mexican restaurants. You can get margaritas and beers. There's an Italian restaurant now that I believe you can get some wine. Minden also has a former Sonic that is now a sushi restaurant, which always blows my mind. So you can order your sushi from your car and eat it, and it's delivered to you, and you eat it in your car, which is the weirdest thing to me.
Does it come from a car hop with roller skates?
I don't know, but they've been open a very long time. Yeah. So people in Minden must love this drive-through thing. But we're going to take another break, and when we come back, more topics with Bob. So come back to us. It is the Lafayette Food Junkie Show on News Talk 96.5 KPEL.
Go along on all of Tiffany's food adventures. Like the Lafayette Food Junkie Show on Facebook.
Data mining technology that scrubs the internet looking for specific information is a modern-day reality. Even the IRS is using it. Now, word is out that the IRS and their army of tax collectors have access to sophisticated data analytics. If you owe money to the IRS, call Optima Tax Relief, 800-354-9295. Optima can help stop that army of tax collectors from targeting you. Call for your free consult, 800-354-9295.
Connect to public Wi-Fi, and even if it's password protected, you could be tossing all your expectations about privacy out. That's because cybercriminals can use Wi-Fi to steal the personal information you send and receive while online. To use public Wi-Fi privately, you need Norton Secure VPN. You simply install it on your laptop and mobile devices, log in once, and it immediately protects you from hackers by encrypting your connection. To get Norton Secure VPN, go to norton.com/VPN. Prices start at $333 a month with annual subscription. Terms apply.
Hi, this is Beth James, co-owner of Prairie Rond Rice from James Farms in St. Landry Parish. We're excited to sponsor the Lafayette Food Junkie Show here on News Talk 96.5 KPEL. From the only local farm-to-table mill in Acadiana, Prairie Rond Rice is the highest quality rice that you can buy. We take great care in growing and milling to very high standards. Because we're a single variety grain, we cook more evenly. Ask for us at your local grocery store or restaurant, or purchase us online at prairierondrice.com. From our farm to your table, Prairie Rond Rice.
Here's a tip from Mr. Electric.
LED lighting is the lighting of the future. Fluorescent fixtures changed to LED reduce humming and flickering caused by standard fluorescent bulbs and ballasts. And it's not just fluorescence that can be converted, but any fixture in your home. LED lighting is becoming more affordable than ever, not only on bulb costs, but also on future maintenance and energy costs as well, and brings a better quality of lighting in your home.
For more advice and tips from Mr. Electric, visit this Town Square Media radio station's website.
When looking for an electrician, Mr. Electric is a name you can trust. They have a code of values that ensure their technicians understand that respect, integrity, and customer focus are the foundations of who they are. They believe that safety is one of the pillars that keeps us standing, so they offer each of their customers a complimentary home safety check. And they understand that you want to feel safe in your home, so they background check and drug screen each of their employees before hiring. Call Mr. Electric. They'll help you take care of all your electrical needs. 451-2228.
As a raccoon, I consider myself something of an expert on human behavior. After all, I'm always watching you from the shadows. Frankly, I'm surprised you made it this long. 12,000 human lives are saved every day by donating blood, but most young people aren't given. We need your help, because if you guys disappear, whose trash am I going to eat? One donation saves 3 lives. Give blood. Save the humans. Visit Vitalant.org to find a Vitalant blood donation center near you.
Welcome back to the Lafayette Food Junkie Show on News Talk 96.5 KPEL. I'm your host, Tiffiany Decou, joined as always by Bob Burrell.
Yep.
Okay, we had a listener message us over the break. His name is Brent. We got an audio message. I got an audio message on Facebook. I didn't even know this was possible.
I know, right?
But he said the correct way to pronounce the drink that we were talking about with the beer and the it's like the Bloody Mary, but with the vodka instead of beer, is called Michelada. So Michelada. See, I'm already messing it up. I like phonetically wrote it down on this paper, and I'm still messing it up.
Well, we have that conversation to go back to now.
Yes, exactly.
Wait, let me listen to this, and then I'll order my drink.
Yeah, I know. Can I get somebody to speak in Spanish for me when I go to some taquerias, please? That's my big. I want to learn how to speak Spanish so bad, just so I can properly order things at taquerias.
I've wanted to learn. I've tried for so many years to learn Cajun French, and I just know a couple words. Languages is not my forte.
Well, they say that once you learn, because like French and Spanish, and it's all derived from Latin, that they have very similar words. There's even, I learned this a little while ago, even some words in Vietnamese are actually French, because French,
right.
They were a French settlement. So like the French were in there. So some of the words in Vietnamese are really the same in French. So it kind of, that kind of like overlap is fascinating to me when I find out that kind of stuff. And
which is, correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't that one of the reasons they have almost like a French pastry?
Yes, that is why, you know, the banh, the French bread, that's why pastries are so good there. They have coffee that's all from France's time in Vietnam. So that's where that kind of comes from. And in fact, a lot of those French kind of things are the ones that have French names that are in Vietnamese. But it's fascinating. Yeah. Going back to our Shreveport tour, they have a place in Minden called Wild Hogs, and they make crackling. And I've been following them on social media. I wanted to try them. They sell them in gas stations. Okay. Mm-hmm. So we finally went to a gas station that sells them. And they're not like a regular crackling. So your regular crackling will have the skin, it'll have fat, and then you have your little chunk of meat.
Yeah.
And I feel like the chunk of meat helps cut that fat that's in it. Also, they're served warm generally. And like, because, you know, when you go to get crackling, like it's in the heat lamp thing. And so that layer of fat is not so solidified. So it's not so unsavory kind of thing. Well, these were cold.
Yeah.
And it's basically like strips of the skin with a layer of fat. There is no meat on it. When I ate them yesterday, I could only eat like 3 because like the fat layer on it was just so unsettling to me. Yeah. And it was too much fat. Like it's way too much. For some reason this morning, they tasted way better to me. And I don't know if it was just because I was hungry and I didn't have anything else on my stomach or what, but they did taste a little bit better to me. But they came in like a big bag. So I'm going to end up, I want to break them down. And my dad was talking about this, that my great-grandmother used to make crackling cornbread.
Yeah.
And I think that that's what I'm going to try to do with them is I'm going to like grind them down and I'll make like crackling cornbread with the rest of them. Or I may just randomly eat them if I'm hungry enough.
Yeah, I tried them and they are not for me.
Yeah, you felt like they smelled like fish too. Yeah. You said you found that they had this weird smell to them. I didn't find that, but that maybe that's my Cajun sense missing, and that was something that you were picking up on.
You got to eat your North Louisiana fried fish this weekend.
It was not good fish though. That's what I said. It was too thin.
Too thin.
Yeah, but you did like your jalapeno. We ate leftovers. We basically scrounged in my parents' fridge. But my grandmother made a pot roast last night.
Mm-hmm.
I have not had a beef. I think she said beef chuck roast in so long, and it was so good. I'm gonna have to make it. But we were talking about, so she does hers in a cast iron in the oven.
Yeah.
And then she kind of makes, and they serve the gravy separately.
Yeah, and it's not what we would think of as gravy.
Right. Well, no, I would say that is, but here you're used to having it together. Like the gravy and the roast would be in the same pot.
Not for me.
Really?
That's like Thanksgiving gravy.
See, I thought that was too thin for Thanksgiving gravy.
See, for me, gravy it's much more like cooked down onion and
okay, yeah, it was missing the vegetable component to that. But you were talking about how it was so weird that it was served separately. And I get where you're getting the Thanksgiving vibe from that, but that's not what I would consider like a Thanksgiving gravy.
Yeah.
But again, we've talked about that before. What y'all consider stew, I consider gravy. And then we were talking about how it's made of roux. And I was like, well, yes, this gravy, if would add flour in it. I mean, technically it would have roux too. But it was a whole thing. The other thing that you got to eat that you're not used to having is my grandmother had a pea called a brown crowder.
Yeah.
And you were so fascinated by this because you had never had it before. It was just a brown pea.
Never even heard of it.
And then I said, "Welcome to North Louisiana, where we have more fresh produce available to you." Because you don't notice how different even areas of the state are until you go there and you see what's different. Because I mean, we're known for like rice and gravies here. Not a lot of fresh produce. They have more fresh produce in North Louisiana, more readily available. But it was a brown crowder, and you were just like fascinated by it. It was delicious.
Yeah.
It was good. I don't think my grandmother cooks anything bad. But we also had rice and potatoes.
Yes.
And mashed potatoes and sweet potatoes.
Yeah.
So we cover all your carb bases.
Yes.
And then all your potato bases in one meal.
The base of the food pyramid up north is very wide.
I also love my grandmother to death because we overslept this morning. We were in a pot roast coma, I believe.
Yeah.
And we overslept. And so we didn't have time for breakfast. And she really wanted to fix us breakfast.
Yep.
And I was like, we don't have time. Like, we'll just stop and get something on the road. And she's like, well, what about a piece of toast? Because this piece of toast will save us from starving.
Love your grandma.
I know. She wants to feed you. And
Yep.
and I love and appreciate her wholeheartedly because of that.
Very.
So it was a fun trip. I'm happy to be home. I think I'm just gonna veg out after the show and eat pizza.
Yeah, yeah.
And you're going straight to bed.
Yeah.
You've decided.
Pretty much.
So it kind of made me think about something that, I live here. My family's in North Louisiana. My parents used to live here. They're now in North Louisiana. What would be the one thing that you would miss about, like, food related about living here? What would be the one food that you would just, you can't do it?
Probably boudin.
See, that's what I think it would be for me.
Yeah.
And look, like, they messed up Cracklin, so
Yeah.
I can't even imagine. There are places that serve boudin, but it's just not the same.
Yeah. Once you're north of like Natchitoches, it's almost just not even worth trying.
My daddy was saying that one of the liquor stores in Dixie Inn is making boudin, or they're like buying it from somewhere, and he was like, it's not good.
I told you I had a dream once where we were moving to Chicago.
What?
And I went and got a job at B.O.'s for
Yes, I remember
a month,
you. I
just so
remember
I
you
could learn
saying
how to make
this.
the boudin.
I do remember you saying this.
More skills you know, less you got to carry.
But we also, what's nice is we live in the day and age where we can pretty much get anything we want delivered to us too. Because my dad was saying, when they were in Pennsylvania, he got almost $500 worth of stuff from Best Stop.
Yeah.
Shipped to them, and it included Cracklin. They got cracklins, they got sausage, they got all of that shipped to them.
Yeah, but a lot of that went to shipping and handling.
Yes, he said shipping was a good chunk of that. But, I mean, we do live in a time where if you're missing creature comforts from home, you can get it delivered. It just may be a little pricier.
I don't know. I don't see paying that much for boudin.
You can get king cakes delivered. You can get crawfish delivered.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things now that you can get delivered. And my dad, they were saying they have 3 or 5 places up there that's boiling crawfish. So, you can get crawfish anywhere in the state.
For what like seasoning? Like, is it Cajun or Vietnamese?
I'm sure it's Cajun.
Okay.
Well, let me put that in parentheses.
Fair.
For that, because I'm not, 100% sure. I mean, it seems to be good. My dad keeps eating there where he's getting it in town, but, it may be like those crawfish videos that people freak out over.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Or like the Gordon Ramsay video where he's peeling crawfish to put like 6 little pieces of crawfish tail on a plate. And like everybody is like, oh my God, Gordon Ramsay.
What are you doing?
He's so amazing that he can do something so delicate with this crawfish and pull the meat out in one piece. And I'm like, come on, I was doing that when I was 12.
All right, we're going to take another break. And when we come back, more topics with Bob. So come back to us. It is the Lafayette Food Junkie Show on News Talk 96.5 KPEL.
Sunday nights mean the Lafayette Food Junkie Show. Download the podcast every week on KPEL965.com.
Welcome back to the Lafayette Food Junkie Show on News Talk 96.5 KPEL. I'm your host, Tiffiany Decou. Joining me, as always, is Bob Burrell.
Yep.
Want to give a shout out to sponsor of the Lafayette Food Junkie radio show, Prairie Run Rice. Speaking of, in the earlier segment, we were talking about having stuff delivered.
Yeah.
So you can send your relatives living in other areas. Prairie Run Rice.
I should have brought my future in-laws some prairie round rice.
You know what? I was thinking about that too. I was thinking that we should have did that. But I think next time we go to visit them, we'll bring them boudin and stuff because my dad was like, ooh, I would have liked that. I was like, well, you got a king cake this time. So, so maybe on the next trip,
only so much room in my little fit.
Right. You will get something else. You came from a pretty cool event today. You want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, we had to rush up from Shreveport or rush down from Shreveport I went to the Longest Table event, which is it's from the 24-Hour Citizens Brigade.
Mm-hmm.
They have a bunch of local events, and the Conversation Starters Longest Table event was one of them. And it's about getting people together over food and to have cross-racial conversations. Like those awkward conversations that are just incredibly hard to start. But once you start them, you find a certain freedom in that awkwardness. And you get to talk about and learn about people that you normally wouldn't be able to.
So today was the big one, 300 people on Jefferson Street. They closed off Jefferson Street, and they just had a huge table going down Jefferson Street of 300 people. But prior to that, you got invited to one of the Catalyst dinners that were much smaller.
Yeah.
And they were hosted by someone, and it was about a group of 10 people?
I think it was probably 10 at the most. I want to say ours was 8.
Okay.
But yeah, that one was at the United Way. And I mean, they're both great, but I kind of rathered the more intimate one.
Because it wasn't as big, so you had more of an opportunity to have more intimate conversation.
Yeah.
With people, I would think. And then you said they were playing music today.
Yeah.
So it was a little hard.
It was I mean, invaluable event.
Right, totally.
Yeah.
I appreciate that they're doing events like that here.
Yeah, I know.
And what did they serve you to eat?
Red beans and rice.
Yeah.
Which was a pretty smart, because you can meet a lot of dietary restrictions and it's not that expensive.
I wonder who provided it.
I don't know. They might have mentioned
Bob, as a representative of the Lafayette Food Junkie radio show, you need to start asking people these things.
Do you really want me representing your show?
I mean, sometimes we can't just wave that around brashly at places. But if you're curious, you can't just say, I'm Bob with the show. You just say, oh, who made the red beans and rice?
Look, if you want me
you're
to
inquisitive.
If you want me to do that, you got to get me a fedora with one of those cards that say press. That I could put on the top
that's not. You can just be inquisitive and ask questions. Mm-mm. You don't have to say who you're with. You can just say, oh, that was good. Where did this come from? And ask more questions. Don't bring the show into it at all. I don't want to be getting really weird emails from anyone, okay?
Yeah, that's fair.
Let's not have that happen. I feel like we're in a restaurant boom right now. I feel like there's a lot of restaurants about to open or in the process of opening. They just announced this week that they broke ground on another KFC.
Yeah.
This one's closer to the mall. Again, I don't know why we need one KFC, but we now have 3 again. And then I'm also confused in that we had KFCs, they closed, and now they're coming back. I don't understand it.
Yeah, you
but
really don't like the KFC.
I don't like KFC, and that's me. I'm not a fan of the KFC.
I like
some people out there like the original herbs and spices blend of the Colonel. I'm not a fan.
Yeah.
You know what I do like from there that they had? I do appreciate that they got crazy with some of their stuff. Like they had the Double Down.
Yeah.
Which I don't think I ever tried it. But
it's like you appreciate it that it exists.
And I also they had the bowl with the mashed potatoes and gravy and cheese and fried chicken on it. And I think that's the only thing I liked on that menu. But their biscuits are awful. They're frozen. Their biscuits are awful. Their chicken, their sides are, you know what? That's what it is. I don't like their sides. Their chicken is good. It's not good. It's okay. It's edible. There's like a siren going on. I'm about to be arrested for
KFC
talking
police.
about KFC. But their sides are not good. Mashed potato and gravy is passable because it's instant mashed potato and gravy.
Okay.
That's fine. So that's really what it is. Popeyes has good sides. Church's has good sides.
Yeah.
Popeyes has good chicken. Church's has good chicken. I would argue that Church's biscuits are better than Popeyes unless they're piping hot, because we all know once a Popeyes biscuit goes cold, it's a weapon.
Yeah.
So that's why I don't like them, because of their sides.
And I'd say Fat Albert's has better sides and better chicken.
Okay, Fat Albert's has really good chicken. Their sides, again, it's like some of the sides.
So much.
But I do like fried chicken. Like I do like Fat Albert's.
I wish I would have been able to go when they had kibbe as a side.
Yeah, we had somebody, and that's what you requested for your birthday.
Yeah.
But we're trying to make it work because they're closed on Sundays.
Yeah.
So we're trying to figure out how. I guess we're going to do that on the Saturday night.
I think we'll get KFC for my birthday.
Are you serious?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh,
You're just saying that now because I've expressed my dislike of it.
Yep.
So now you're like, let's get what Tiffany doesn't like for my birthday.
Exactly.
All right. Well played. Well played. Also, this really cool service is about to open up. It's called Gray's Acadiana.
Okay.
And from what it appears, it's coming soon, so they're not open yet. But from what it appears is they go into your house and they build charcuterie and cheese plates for you. So you know how I had a nervous breakdown on Christmas Eve, building the Feast of the Seven Cheeses plate. Yes. They would come in and do that for you and take it. But I also really enjoyed it. It was better, like, I think I said this, that it's like coloring books for adults.
Yeah.
Like designing a charcuterie board. So I could see the fun in it. But that they just announced that they're opening. Very little information other than that is on there. They just started following me on Instagram, which is why I mentioned, I was like, oh, look at that. Yeah. So that's kind of cool.
That is awesome.
And then we have the salad place that's opening up.
Yeah.
I think it's Super Salad, I think is the name of it.
Like that.
So what I liked about it is that you go through, you pick all your ingredients, and then you bring it to somebody at the end and they chop it all up for you to make it into a salad. So I think that's kind of cool. It makes me miss Super Salad.
I thought that's what you said.
I think I messed that up.
Okay.
Salad Station is what is coming. Salad Station is coming. Makes me miss Super Salad.
Okay.
Did you ever eat at Super Salad?
No, I didn't.
So it was close to campus, and it was a salad buffet, but they also had really great soup.
Okay.
And you know how I am about soup.
Yeah.
So you go get salad, and I want to say it was like $5.
Nice.
It was just ridiculously cheap to be able to eat. Wasabi closed, also on Ambassador. And it's going to be a pho shop, and then they're going to be doing tea.
That's cool.
So, and I feel like that may be the closest to where I live for pho.
Oh, yeah.
So I'll have to go and check that out and see. But I feel like we're getting like a lot of restaurants.
Yeah.
Which is exciting to me because it means, business is picking back up.
Is the, what was it, a Mexican restaurant? That's the old Texas Roadhouse?
So that is Pedro's.
Lone Star.
Pedro's top. No, it was actually, it was, man, I'm blanking on what it used to be. We used to eat there all the time. It was not, it was a steakhouse.
Across from the old Kmart.
Yes, it's
whatever
now Pedro's Taco and Tequila.
Yeah.
And when I've passed by, they just opened this week. When I've been passing by, and they've been packed. So it looks good. We need to go there, and we also need to go. There's one on the Thruway. It's El Cactus, that opened as well. Like, we need to go check that out. We just need to go. We need to start, because remember when we went to La Pagua and we got the margarita pitcher?
Yeah.
We now need to start going around Lafayette and tasting everyone's margarita so we can find the best. Twist my arm. So we can find the best margarita in town.
I'm up for this challenge.
Yeah, we need to figure this out. That needs to be our next thing to
and
do.
Those of you out in Radio Land, we are taking suggestions.
Yeah, if you have suggestions on where, and look, okay, we know La Fonda, so just don't even say that.
Right.
So we know like a lot of you are going to say La Fonda, just throw that out. We're looking for other restaurants that have really good margaritas, not La Fondas, not Legends.
Yeah.
Do not name those.
But
feel free to
totally
email
test
me.
them out, but we need to know the ones that we don't know about.
Right. We're looking for some that we would not be aware of to go and check out.
Bring it.
All right, we're going to take another break, and when we come back, more topics with Bob. So come back to us. It is the Lafayette Food Junkie Show.
Follow Tiffany on Instagram. Just search the Lafayette Food.
Welcome back to the Lafayette Food Junkie Show on News Talk 96.5 KPEL. I'm your host, Tiffiany Decou, joined as always by Bob Burrell. Okay, so sometimes when we're coming back from break, we're trying to figure out who the song is.
Yeah, or at least like what it's trying to imitate.
Because we've already talked about the Barracuda.
Yeah.
For heart, it had fish or something like that. This one said "School Sucks."
Yeah.
And you were like, I recognize the song.
I mean, I think
not.
it's got to be it's because I think they're royalty-free songs.
Yes.
And this one's kind of just like a genre imitation of Alice Cooper.
You think?
That's my guess.
Okay. So it was like a ripoff of School's Out for Summer.
Kind of like how Weird Al did a genre imitation of Devo on the Transformers soundtrack.
All right.
That's a deep cut for you.
I get it. I see where you're going with that. I would also like to point out Facebook is listening to me because during the break while I was scrolling through my Facebook, there was a KFC ad. So Facebook, thanks for listening to me at all times.
Yeah, fair.
Okay, you have something for the Bob's Bachelor segment.
Yes, Bob's Bachelor Chow. So last time it was about being able to spice up like what you have. You know, like it was I believe it was adding peanut butter to ramen. Well, it's not always about spicing up what you have. This one's more about keeping what you have yours. Because sometimes if you're a bachelor, you don't have that much food and you have roommates that want to eat that food, especially when you're cooking it. So what I did is you make your scrambled eggs and you add blue food coloring to it. And it looks like something that nobody would ever want to eat. It looks like a shop rag, like a blue shop rag. And your roommates will not want to eat your blegs. So Bob's Bachelor Chow.
Oh my God. Where did you come up with this? And did you really do this?
Yes, for a long time.
Did you really put food coloring in your eggs?
Yeah.
Wow.
And in fact, the blue, yellow and blue make green. So they were more like blue-green eggs.
So you had like green eggs and ham.
Yeah.
But you're colorblind. So what color did they look like to you?
Like azure, like a bluish green.
Okay. I don't get you sometimes.
Okay. It was high school.
Oh my goodness. Okay, we have about 8 minutes left of the show. What are we going to talk about? Ooh, somebody said music. Oh, so we got a follower that said, is Bob picking the music? I liked the intro. Bob is not picking the music.
Oh, they should let me.
Rob Kirkpatrick, who is the manager at KPEL, picks the music for the show. So he puts all of that in there. No, I don't think that they should let you pick the music. Who knows what would happen if you picked the music?
I could play something from my hippity hop Spotify.
Your hippity hop.
playlist.
I'm sure that would go over great. Oh my goodness. Okay, what's on your mind food wise? Oh, you know what we need to talk about? Kolaches.
Thank you.
Because we've been wanting to talk about this for a while. So pretty much every other Sunday, Bob and I go to a different donut place to get kolaches. So we've come up with a pretty good list of who has the best kolaches in Acadiana. So at the top of the list, Home Cut Donut has by far the best donuts. The jalapeno
kolaches.
The jalapeno kolache sausage, delicious. That's
And
like
the
my
boudin
favorite.
kolache.
I don't think I've had the boudin from there.
I don't think it's on their board, but it is the best kolache.
Okay. I'm going to disagree with you for the boudin one, and I'm going to say Mesh's, their boudin pepper jack kolache is the best one there. That is the only kolache that I like from them. I don't like the other ones because it's like the lunch meat and cheese and American cheese wrapped in it.
I don't like those.
Not a fan of that. Cajun Market, also not the biggest fan of their kolaches, but they do have a chili cheese kolache, which I appreciate. Their sausage one, the wrapping on it has like this, it's like a garlic buttery taste to it. So I kind of like that as well. Like it's very savory, but I like the Creole bread that has like the ground beef and the sausage in it. You got the boudin one when we went. And I'm going to say that I believe that I like their donuts better than Mesh's.
See, I don't, we may be breaking up. Because I
add it to the list.
Add it to the list of reasons we're breaking up. But yeah, I just can't see, we really just gonna have to have a showdown for best donut, because I think that a hot Mesh's donut is possibly the best food you can eat.
It is delicious, but maybe we need to do like a comparison. But they both have to be super hot.
Yeah.
But okay, so Donut Queen and Kaplan, I didn't get to taste their kolache, but you said it was pretty good, and I've heard that it's up there.
I'd ever had. Yeah.
Like how does it compare to Home Cut?
If it were fresh, I didn't get it fresh.
That's true. We didn't get fresh ones.
I think it'd be just behind Home Cut.
Okay. Can we also talk about how I like? So Texas is known for their kolaches, but they're sweeter. They're sweet kolaches.
Is it like a sweet bread?
Yeah. Like remember when we went? We did our Austin road trip. Yeah. They had like it's like the sweet bread, and it has, cherry. It has like a fruit filling in it. They're not really savory, but here they're savory, and that's why I like the savory kolaches way better than the sweet kolaches. But so now I'm like, I feel like we've pretty much covered all of the donut options in town, but Home Cut really has the star, and I think for like $5 you can get like a whole box of them.
Yeah, you can get,
which makes them really affordable, and you could pretty much, you could eat on them all day almost.
If they were to last that long in my house. Is there any places that aren't donut places that do kolaches?
I don't think so. I think that just goes along with it because not everyone like me, because I don't like a sweet breakfast. I like a savory breakfast, and I think that that's why they started doing that. So I don't know if there's kolache places out there that you think we need to try. Please email me and let me know.
Yeah,
we're open to suggestions. I also want to mention some upcoming shows because it's been just me and Bob. Because I was finishing this quarter and I kind of lagged behind on getting guests on the show.
Which is all you need.
Right. But next week, Chef Ryan Shorthaw and Jacques Rodrigue with Blue Dog are going to be on the show.
Awesome.
And then the next week, I'm thinking we're going to have somebody with Carrie's Roux on the show. So I'm excited about that.
Because you liked Carrie's roux.
That is the only roux I will use, baby. Mm-hmm. And then the week after that, so in April we're pretty much booked. So the week after Carrie's roux, Tons in Broussard is going to be coming on the radio show. Yeah, I'm
awesome.
Stoked about that as well. We're not going to be on the show for Easter. Then we're going to be having Mark Whitney. Mark's going to be in May, so Mark's not in April. But we're going to have one of our food fans coming on the show.
Awesome.
Jamila, who's been on the show before. She'll be coming on as well. But we have like April is packed. We're not going to have a show for Easter, but we will be having some guests come on the show for those of you out there who are sick of just listening to me and Bob ramble on. I apologize. This quarter was rough. I'm going back to one class.
But it's officially over finally.
Yes, it's officially over. I finally got all of my grades today. Yep. I have 2 more weeks of break, and then I go back. I'll be taking my next class is testing and assessments, where I will learn how to administer tests to assess if the person has mental illness or not. Well, so I'll probably be using Bob as my guinea pig.
You can test and assess the best margarita in town.
Yes, that'll be what I'll be doing on the weekends from break from class. But I'm excited. I feel like a lot of the conversations that I'm going to be having with people during that quarter is going to be like, testing them to see if they have mental illness or not, or where they fall on a scale or something like that. It's going to be fun. I'm excited, and I'm looking forward to just one class as opposed to the 2 that I took this past semester. Going to be cooking a lot more. Yeah. Because I kind of put all that on the back burner. I'm thinking about trying one of those. It's one that's called Freshly. So it's not one where you have to make the meal. They already come made. Okay. And I think I'm going to test it for 2 weeks to kind of see, because it's going to be a little crazy for me for 2 weeks. So just check it out to see how it is. And I'll let, obviously, the listeners at home know how that goes. But I did what's the big one? You did Blue Apron. Blue Apron. I did that for a bit. Did you like it? Yeah, honestly, I think the But you took none of those skills with you. They went like Kaiser Soze. They just let's put food coloring in our eggs. But honestly, I think the best part of it was the recipes. Yeah. The recipes are so well done. All right, that's our show. Thank you so much for tuning in. Join us next week, Sunday at 6 p.m. This is Tiffiany Decou on News Talk 96.5 KPEL, and this is the Lafayette Food Junkie Show. Thanks for listening, and as always, happy eating, Acadiana.
Sunday nights mean the Lafayette Food Junkie Show, live in Acadiana. Brought to you by Prairie Rod Rice.
Hi, this is